Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Happy Camper Radio Show. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and without question, my friends, we're going to make a happy camper out of you. It's episode 292, and on today's show, I want to talk about emergency roadside preparation. Now, a lot of folks go camping, and they have no problems getting to and from their destination, but every once in a while, you just never know when something's going to crop up. Are you prepared? Do you have emergency assistance available to you that you can get just by a simple phone call? We'll talk about we'll talk about emergency roadside preparation. I'm busy looking at Daniel and I'm screwing up. You know, it happens all the time. But anyway, Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 292, coming at you right now.
Happy Camper Radio.
And, of course, the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners like yourself. You can find us in just about any podcast directory out there. Whatever one you choose, punch in Happy Camper Radio in your search engine. Chances are you're going to find us right there. Of course, we're on the web 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. You can find us on Facebook. Like us on X. There you go. And by all means, check us out on our YouTube channel where you can see this show. And I'll tell you something. I'm looking at this guy on the screen here. We're welcoming him back on the show right here from Winder, Georgia. His name is
Daniel Pitts.
Hey, there I am.
Yeah, there you are, Daniel. Hey, didn't I just see you somewhere?
I think I saw you in my bathroom.
Oh, my heavens, Daniel. Shame on you.
What?
Well, let me tell you something. Yes, I've been up visiting Daniel for these past couple of weeks. Now, Daniel lives about a good hour away from me, and that's why we're doing the show remotely now. But I'd have him come up there just for a visit. The guy's been putting me to work.
Oh,
Yeah,
my gosh, really?
I had dust all over me earlier today. Why don't you tell Daniel, why don't you tell everybody what I've been doing, the work I've been doing in your bathroom?
So I got this really fancy vent system with a light and a speaker, and it's got like a night light and all kinds of stuff. And he helped me wire it up, and it was an ordeal, that's for sure.
That it certainly was, because when I came up there, I thought it was going to be a simple project. And, you wanted the light switch moved from one wall to the next, and you wanted this new fancy gadget, something I would never even think of installing.
I think you liked it, though. I think you liked it.
I was just happy to get it working for you today. Because
I started turning on the Doobie Brothers. You liked it.
You tune in my music here, and I'll tell you, I guarantee you, I'll get the job done. But, I was up here to visit you. I had nothing planned on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And I come on up there, and, I'm going to be coming up that way again a few days from now because I'll be camping up at Fort Yargo State Park. And as I was coming up there on the 4th, I never imagined the number of cars that were lined up on that 2-lane road just to get into the park. It was in both directions. I was really surprised.
It always surprises me that people do that. Like, I just figure everything is packed solid on July 4th. Like, I saw a video online about Helen and tubing. I was like, what did you expect on the 4th? I used to work at Stone Mountain on the 4th of July. It was the craziest day of the year. What did you expect? Like, everywhere where there's something outside to do on the 4th of July, it's going to be crazy. So I never go anywhere.
I can understand having the campground fully packed on a holiday. Yeah. All right. But the fact that remains, a lot of people were trying to get into the park, which tells me there's a lot of other activities available.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
On the 4th of July. So, yeah, you probably had a lot of things up there. And, of course, you living within 3 to 4 miles away from the park now, you get up there anytime you want.
Yep.
But some of the things that are available, you were just, talking on the last episode we did that, there's been some major changes up there at the park. Some improvements. And that's probably what a lot of folks were up there going to see.
It's still the hot thing. I think it took almost 2 years to get it done. So, people have been waiting a while.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'll get an opportunity to see it. And, and by all means, when I'm up there camping, Daniel, I know you're working, I don't know what your days off are next week, but definitely stop on by
Oh yeah.
because I'm gonna bring some gear up here with me, and it would be an ideal opportunity for us to do a show right outside my Transcend 200 uh, R, RV.
Yeah, definitely. I'll swing
Yeah.
up there right after work probably.
hmm But yeah, I tell you, I have been quite busy here these past couple weeks. I just got back from my favorite camping destination up on Lake Sidney Lanier, the Bald Ridge Creek Campground. We were there last week. Sadie and I had a great time. It was hot. We had some great weather,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't until I talked to you later that evening when you asked the magical question, "Have you gotten any rain?" About an hour later, yeah, the sky opened up, and you had to bring that up, Daniel. You just had to bring that up.
It's
But I'll
been
tell you
it's
that,
been pretty it's been pretty nice lately. I mean, it's rained, but it's stopped. It'll rain really hard for about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so, but then it'll stop it. But like before that, good God, it seemed like every day it was raining.
well, being in the South here too, Daniel, it doesn't really help. When you get those short bursts of rain and the sun comes up, that humidity, I'm telling you
Oh
what,
yeah, you can
that's
see the
that's the part
steam
there.
coming
Oh,
off
I
the
can't
street.
stand it. Yeah, I can't stand it. But remember next week, do not mention the R word.
Okay.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm going to be up there for an entire week.
Hmm.
Okay. And amongst other things going on, before I went up to Lake Lanier, I've been quite occupied here in the backyard of my property because after 3 years of RV life, I am finally getting into constructing a landing pad in my backyard for the RV.
All
I went
right.
out and I rented an excavator
Mm-hmm.
for an entire week. I had some property back there I had to get cleared out,
Yeah.
and I had to dig up some dirt and everything, but I went ahead and staked this area out, and hopefully, maybe with a little luck by the end of August, considering the number of camping trips I have lined up and the time I have in between, I can go ahead and get that done. I would like to have that, available for me to park my RV sometime around early September and
Yeah.
park it back there and get it out of the driveway, which will give myself, my daughter, and any guests that we have coming over to the house more room to park.
Yeah. I
Because
know
I
that
do have.
when I was a kid and we had our pop up and we always put it under the house and that thing lasted forever. So I mean, if you keep your trailer or camper, under something, it'll last for a very long time.
Right, and of course, if there's some new roofing materials out there. If you want to get your roof totally redone, I can't remember at the top of my head the name of the company, but it's quite expensive to get something like that done. If you're going to go ahead and keep your RV for a number of years, that will be the way to go. Now, I don't know if I'm going to hold on to my 200 MK for for a very long time. I haven't decided yet. Might upgrade someday, but I will go ahead and eventually get that done. Fortunately, I'll be away from all of the trees. Trees are a nightmare to
Oh
me.
yeah,
You've
I've
seen
dealt with
what,
that a
what
little
what
bit.
problems I've had with trees in the past.
I've
Yeah,
dealt with
but this place
problem with
is.
trees here.
Yeah, well, the fact that I'm getting that RV away from any type of overhanging limbs
Hmm.
is going to be a blessing.
Yep.
And it's looking real good. This is just one opportunity, Daniel, right about now, considering the temperatures that we've been dealing with down here. To give you an example, back when I was working that excavator in the backyard, temperature was 97, 98 degrees out there.
Oof, you gotta
And
be
and I
careful.
don't like working out in the hot sun like
Yeah,
that.
it's
But
dangerous.
you got to consider too, I'm renting that RV or not RV, I'm renting that excavator for a week.
Yeah,
And we're talking a little over $1,000. I've got to go ahead and get what I need done within a
absolutely.
week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to go back there and I had to suffer in the heat. So maybe right about now I could use a little bit of rain, something to cool off just
Oh
a little
no,
bit.
you said the word. Oh no.
Just get that out of the way before the next camping trip. But it's going to be an exciting time. Sadie and I are going to have a blast up there, and I'm looking forward to you and the wife maybe stopping on by.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Cook up
stop
some
by.
burgers,
I'll see if I can
and
drag her
what
over.
have you. Really looking forward to it. A lot of good camping trips coming up. I've got another trip up to Lake Hartwell coming up at the end of the month, and of course my trip to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in August for my 50-year class reunion. Already got camping. camping grounds already scheduled for that.
You're gonna go
So,
bowling
Daniel,
at that place this time?
don't know, Daniel, because I'm only there just for 2 days
Ah,
on
okay.
the way up. We're talking about the Whitesville KOA campground,
Yeah.
which is midway between Atlanta and Pittsburgh. I'm using it just as a point where I can, just catch my second wind and, drive the rest of the way up there where I'll be spending about 5 days at the mountaintop campground. And this is going to be my third visit up there. And I'm really looking forward to that as well. But I'm also looking forward to getting together with some former classmates that I haven't seen in a number of years, and it's going to be a big ordeal for
Mm-hmm.
those of us who are going to be attending. But also, Daniel, knock on wood, I've got a reservation in for the North Florida RV rally, the
Oh,
Grand Design North Florida rally coming up here in early November.
all right.
I just managed to score a reservation there, so I'm planning on that trip too.
Cool.
There's a lot of camping trips I want to get in before the weather turns sour and we have to go ahead and winterize. But it's been a ride. I really gotta admit that
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a really great time doing it. But anyway, Daniel, on the show today, I want to talk about emergency roadside preparation. Now, I'm going to think back here. Most of the travels that I've had with the RV have been uneventful. I make sure everything is taken care of. I make sure that there are the air pressure in my tires, both in my tow vehicle and the RV, are up to par. I also climb under that RV and I give it a very careful inspection before every camping trip to make sure everything looks right. Nothing looks out of place. Nothing is going to cause me to pull off to the side of the road and be stuck there. I don't care if you're camping 10 minutes away or 100 miles away. A breakdown could occur one way or the other. It could be your tow vehicle, it could be your RV. But if something does happen, it's going to cause you to pull off to the side of the road. Thinking back, when we went down to we were down in Florida. Where were we, Daniel? To Port
Oh,
St. Joe.
yep.
Yeah, and we had a great time there, but I had a blowout on the way down. Yeah, I didn't even get outside of Atlanta. And being the fact, Atlanta is such a transit city, there's a lot of traffic coming in and out. Yeah, there is all kind of stuff on the roads left and right,
Mm-hmm.
that you're going to pick up. And sure enough, I picked up a piece of metal that actually ruined the tire that I had. And it was a pretty decent tire too.
Mm-hmm.
But I fortunately I was able to get off to the side of the interstate safely where I felt comfortable, and I didn't have to use my emergency roadside assistance that I subscribe to. But here in Atlanta, if you're having any type of vehicle breakdown or anything, they do have a service here in the state. It's called 511. You pick up your phone and dial 511, and they can ping your location. They can tell you exactly where you're at, and they can dispatch somebody there to change your tire. If you run out of gas, they can give you a couple of gallons of gas to get to the next exit, and it's a really good service to have. But I used that 511 service to get somebody out there to change the tire in my tow vehicle because I picked up that piece of metal. That set me back about an hour and a half. It took me a little time to get down there, but we did manage to get there. In fact, I got there before you.
I forgot what we were doing that day. We had a bunch of other stuff to do before we
Yeah,
headed down. But
it
you were
seems to
you
be
were
anytime.
go on. You
Yeah,
were
it seems to
talking
be
about
anytime with
roadside assistance and everything. They had that big thing in Texas with the flooding and stuff. I was wondering what you thought about, if you're in an area and there's no cell reception and then, the bottom falls out and it just starts, coming down. And I know a lot of people, unfortunately lost their lives because they got swept up in it. I mean, I was wondering, what do you do in a situation like that, though,
Well, Danny, you gotta ask yourself this question. You may be in a dire straight situation, but think about how many other people are in that same situation that you are,
Yeah.
considering the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fortunately, most of the travels that I'm going to be making, yeah, there will be cell reception. I'll have a way to get out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be that way for everybody, and I wish everybody the very best when they're traveling. I don't even want to see anybody get a flat tire. Just get to your camping destination. But things do happen. I can also tell you another incident where I was coming. In fact, I think I was coming back from Port St. Joe, and I made it into the Atlanta area, and I stopped at a convenience store, and I pulled in. I got gas, and my truck wouldn't start.
Oh,
The battery was dead. Yeah, and in this instance, Daniel, I didn't call 511. I had to actually call the service that I subscribed to, and they actually brought somebody out there to jumpstart my truck.
hmm
Now, since that time, I went ahead and I bought myself a one of those emergency charging systems that I can actually jumpstart my truck.
hmm
It's big and heavy. It's like a big concrete block. You got to charge it up once a month, but it's something you want to carry with you. It's just one of those just in case type situations. You've got it there. It sometimes it takes a lesson to be learned, and I've learned a lot of lessons in life. And fortunately for me, since I bought that RV, I've been dedicated to learning as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And I've had very, very little trouble I can't think of anything really major that I've had with that RV.
hmm
But, the couple all it takes is a couple instances, where you're gonna have a flat tire, or you're gonna have a dead battery, or something like that. And if you haven't already made plans, if you don't already have some sort of a service you subscribe to, even check your automobile insurance company to see if they have any type of a service that you're paying for and you don't even know about.
hmm
You can go ahead and do that. But there's a couple out there. CoachNet is one of them. Good Sam is another. Check them out online. I'm not going to recommend one over the other, or some of the other ones I'm not even thinking of at the top of my head. But look into that. You really, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of RV traveling like I do, being retired, and getting out about 7-8 times a year. It's definitely something you want to have. Now, do you and Deidre actually have something for yourself for your RV?
We used to have something with our insurance. We don't have it anymore. I think we might have done AAA. I can't remember. I think we did. We're doing AAA now. But what I was going to say about like the whole cell reception thing and everything, I know the new iPhones have a satellite capability. So I mean, if you plan on, we don't really have that big of a problem with that out here on the East Coast, but I know some places out on the West Coast. I mean, you can go for miles of desert, you know, space, and like there's no cell reception at all. But I would definitely keep it in mind to make sure that you have some kind of reception with emergency, you know, facilities or whatever. Because I know they have, like when you're hiking, they have a bunch of little things that you can put on your pack to contact, emergency services if you break your leg or something. And it's really good to have that if you know that you're going to be in an area that doesn't have cell reception. Just keep it in mind. I mean, like I said, we don't really have to worry about that here, but out there, I mean, if you're in the middle of a desert and they say no gas for another 200 miles, and you break down 150 miles in and there's no cell reception, you got to take that into consideration, because it could turn really bad really quick.
Yeah, you talk about one of those long distances before the next gas station. It reminds me of Cherokee, North Carolina. That long stretch of road before you get into Gatlinburg.
Yep.
Yeah, I've traveled that road before, and there's signs that posted. You run out of gas, you're in deep trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely want to make sure that you go ahead and have enough fuel inside your vehicle. But I also keep in mind too, Daniel, that being RVers and campers like we are, if I'm traveling down the road and I see an RV parked off to the side with four ways on, and if I can safely pull off, I'm going to pull off to the side and see if I can assist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people who are campers, who do travel in their RV, will think the same way.
Yeah.
They're going to check on you. They're going to see if everything's okay, if there's anything they can do to help you along the way. But anything can happen.
Yeah.
It's happened to me a couple times. I didn't think about it. I wasn't prepared in the early stages of RV life. but I'm really more prepared now than I ever was.
Yeah, and I know a lot of times when RVs get something happens to them and they're pulled over, they'll have either like little cones or flares because sometimes people don't really pay attention to much, and some people have gotten hit, trying to change a tire or go around the side to check on something, and it's you got to really keep your head on a swivel when you're in that situation, and you just want to take all the precautions you can.
Yeah, and and if you do have to pull off the side of the interstate, you use your common sense. If you don't feel safe there, get out of your vehicle, get as far off to the side as you possibly can. Now, there's a possibility, yes, your vehicle may get struck by an oncoming vehicle. Your RV may get damaged, but you and your family, that can't be replaced. So you want to make sure that you're going to take your safety and your family safety into consideration. Use a little common sense. That's all you got to do. you know your RV can be replaced, your vehicle can be replaced, but you and your kids cannot.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll tell you, Daniel, it's one of these things, that I always think about anytime that I go anywhere. I travel, and I just make sure that I get there in one piece. Nothing happens, but in the event that it does, I always have that emergency number. I've got it programmed in my phone. I've actually got a card right there in my center console of my truck. So if I need it, it's just within arm's reach, and
Hmm.
I can go ahead and make that call. But, considering the number of camping trips that I have coming up, and, I've got to also consider maybe next year. Every year I go camping. I go check the treads on the tires of the RV. I
Yep.
want to make sure that that if they look like they're getting a little too low, it's time to go ahead and replace them. And I haven't had to do that yet, but I'm thinking maybe, considering the trips that I've got planned this year, they're showing a little wear,
Hmm.
but I don't want it to get too bad.
Yeah.
But I want to get some new tires on there. And, like I say, every year I make sure that I repack those wheel bearings. A lot of folks don't do that,
No, they don't.
and yeah, and I'm going to end up coming up there and repacking the ones on your pop-up camper here
There we
pretty
go.
soon.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're right now, you're busy trying to still get settled into your place,
Yeah, well,
and
we're trying to clear an area to like put some kind of cover like you have, but I mean, we've got bamboo growing out of our eyebrows.
well,
It's
you've
everywhere.
done quite a
It's
bit of work. You've
evasive.
done quite a bit of work up there since I
Yeah.
was there on the 4th of July.
Well, it
I
helped
was
that a
there
tree
today.
fell down and we had to hire a place to clear it. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to probably, hire a company like a clearing company to just get rid of it because it's a pain. Everyone around
Yeah,
me
you
says
get
it's a pain.
find somebody who has a front end loader, come in there and clear that out, because I do want to come up there and do a show in your backyard. I
Oh
love
yeah,
that fire pit. I love that fire pit. No pun intended.
yeah.
Okay. But yeah,
Hey, I got
that looks
firewood
like
now. I got lots of firewood.
sure. Yeah. And the fact is, that fire pit was there when you bought the place.
Yep.
It's a great place to come right there in your backyard and relax. And
Hmm.
I wish I had something like that here. Maybe down the road. I don't know. I love being able to sit out near an open fire,
Oh yeah,
but I really enjoy doing that better at a campground.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we got a lot of camping trips planned, Daniel. A lot of things to look forward to, and I hope to run into you and Deidre out in one of these campgrounds somewhere down the road. It's time now for our featured campground of the week, and that's right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio.
Well, Daniel, what do you say we go out to the state of Michigan?
Oh, I've never been there.
Yeah, it might be a little bit cooler up that way. I'm
It
not.
gets pretty hot. I remember when I was, I actually joined the Navy 26 years ago, the 20th, and I was up in Illinois by Lake Michigan, and it was steamy. It gets hot up there. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it's not always
Well, I'm
cool.
sure it's probably not. It's probably a little more cooler than it is down here in Georgia. But anyway, I want to take you up to the Hiawatha National Forest to Camp 7 Lake Campground. The Camp 7 Lake Campground neighbors the 60-acre Camp 7 Lake, which offers visitors a place to swim, boat, and fish. It's an excellent location, beautiful setting, and many available activities make the campground a perfect place to spend the day, the weekend, or a long vacation. The campground it offers multiple accessible single-family campsites. It's available for tent and RV camping. For the most part, each site is shaded and it's private, and many on right there on the lake. And that's exactly what I like, Daniel. I like to be right there by the lake. A few sites are available on a first come first served basis. If you got a favorite campsite that you've been to before, you might want to think other people want to have that campsite also. So make your reservation as early as you possibly can. Each site is equipped with tables, a campfire ring. Only a few have grills. Accessible vault toilets and drinking water are also provided. A group picnic area can accommodate up to 25 people and offer tables, a campfire circle, and a grill. We're going to have information on our website, happycamperradio.com. Just click on the featured campground tab. We'll have it there all week long. It's a place you may want to consider if you're in the travel mood and you're traveling up through the state of Michigan, through the Hiawatha National Forest. Consider the Camp 7 Lake Campground. It is our featured campground of the week, and that's right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel. HappyCamperRadio.com.
And if you have a campground you'd like for us to feature on the program, get in touch with me, Skip, SKIP, at happycamperradio.com, or the guy from Winder, Georgia.
Hey, Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
By all means, be sure to include a link to the campground website. Well, Daniel, it's not like having you here in the studio, but it's the next best thing.
We'll see each other pretty soon. Very soon.
We're still so glad that we're able to do the Happy Camper Radio Show, even if it's by remote, but it's also just as fun to do it right there at the campground.
It's
more fun. Hope to see you next week when I'm up there at Fort Yargo State Park. And that's going to wrap up today's edition of the Happy Camper Radio Show. And Daniel, I tell you, I am getting really, really excited.
I'm excited too because I'll be able to see you.
Yeah, finally. It's a little bit of a drive, but it's really going to be worth it. I'm going to be busy packing up and loading up the RV in the next couple of days. And Monday morning, I'll be pulling out again.
You'll be in Winder.
You know it. Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do exactly as I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. We're on the web 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on X. And by all means, check us out on our YouTube channel where you can see this show. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I'm a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper. And we'll be talking to you again real soon. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye-bye, everybody.
Happy Camper Radio.